Hello, fellow crafters and paper artisans. It's Chandra with Stocks and Stuff. I am here with the October sheet load of cards, and so I have moved from my summer paper to my fall paper. And I made this yielded 8 cards, and I ended up making 12 because I needed more than 8 for my October birthdays. And you know I use my sheet load for my birthdays if you watch my channel. So this is a special fun fold edition. It says Call Me Crafty Al. And so I'm going to show you what I did. I will start by showing you what I used. I got this Craftsmith Berry Tapestry Fall from Michaels because I love purple in the fall. And you know, everything's usually green and orangey, and so I just love the look of it. And I know a lot of people aren't buying Craft Smart because it's not the best quality paper, but and I love that Thanksgiving page, but I got it anyway, and it really was about the colors for me. And it really was kind of a different type because it even had some of those photographic pages in it, and you know, it has the strip pages. So it was just kind of a different set, and it had all the kind of fall colors because you even had the gold, and even though it was doing like a purple pink pastel type of thing. Then I also bought the solids because you know those colors were kind of different, and it had all of the colors that are in the printed pad, and they are textured. So I thought this was a better buy. Now, what I didn't realize when I bought it is that it is white core, and that's not my favorite. And I did end up doing some embossing, and if you know, white core does not emboss well, even if you, you know, spritz it. But I'll show you what I did to correct that. So this, I had this vellum, and it is Stampin' Up. And it may be a mix of both, but my tag says that it is summer vellum. But there's some dark colors in here, so I'm thinking I might have just mixed up and put all my vellum in here. That was from Stampin' Up, to be honest with you. So those are colors I use. As you can see, some of those are colors that are in this Berry Tapestry. And then on clearance one day, and I remembered I had this in my stash, I bought this translucent paper. It was on the clearance aisle. I never look at the Creatology stuff because I always think it's kiddie. But so I thought translucent paper, that's probably just vellum. And look at, they had this dark berry color. And so I used that. And then they had a lighter, no they didn't. I used the other side. I think I was doing the lighter purple I got from my Stampin' Up set. So those are items that I used. Oh, I forgot my inks. So I was able to pull out several colors from my Stampin' Up. So I always tell you I use Stampin' Up, but I never tell you the color. So this is Mint Macaroon, and I'll show you what colors I used and what I tried to match with it. So I used the Mint Macaroon for this kind of green here. This is Sweet Sugar Plum, and I used it for this purplish color that I used right here. Then I used Blushing Bride, and I used it for this light pink. I used Delightful Dijon, and I used it for the kind of fall yellow here. I used Rich Razzleberry, and you know I used it for this color. And I used Garden Green, which really wasn't a perfect match because this really has more blue, and I don't think I had anything that was close to that. And I know I didn't, which is why I didn't use it. And also I had, I used this Darice embossing folder. And it is, you can see it is fall leaves. Hopefully you can see it. Well, you'll see it in a second on my cards. So here are my cards. Oh, I forgot one more thing. I used the Waffle Flower Sweet Birthday Stamp and Die set that I got a couple weeks ago. because I really like those are front card sentiments, and they have the die, so I really love it. All right, so recent transplant from Michigan. Well, I should stop saying recent. This is my second summer down south. But so my birthday wishes go across the mile. So I use that one. I I emboss with the embossing folder on the matching paper. So let me say this. So instead of just using white card base, I use the solids from the set to make my card bases because I wanted to use my paper. So of course, when you try to cut an A2 card with 12 by 12, you end up with scraps. And my goal was not to have a ton of scraps. So what I did was, instead of making the 3-inch circle, like Call Me Crafty Al did for her sentiment, I did a 2-inch, I guess it's 2, I'm not even sure what that is. I did a smaller circle, embossed it, and then I used my vellum that I die cut out with a stitch circle die to do the 3-inch. And I think this is just a smidgen bigger than a 3-inch because you see hers doesn't go quite as far over as mine does, and she makes these true to size. And so that's what I did. And now, like I said, this was white core. And so my, I ended up with these white pieces on the embossing. So I took a Delicata, 3 different colors, Delicata, maybe I used 4 colors, Delicata ink, and I just, ran it over it. And so I like that it gave it a little shimmer. All the colors weren't a perfect match, but it gave it some shimmer, and I'm fine with that. So I used the plaid and then this printed, big floral printed paper, which ended up getting covered up because I used this big circle. So this is what I did. And then my sentiment on the back, which I took from just some various. So these, I didn't forget your birthday, are the people whose birthday is the first week of October. And you see they're not in the mail yet. And so I did 2 in each of the colors. I had a miscut on this circle. And so I just pulled out, if you remember, that's from Tuesday morning. I just pulled out that leaf there and just stuck it where my miscut was instead of recutting. Because, and I'll show you my strips, because I only had enough to do 2, well, I had more enough to do 2, but I didn't want to waste any more paper. And it, I spritzed it and it got a little flimsy. And so the cuts were, and that white core, like I said, is just not sturdy. And so I even had to be careful on my gluing, of the things on. Now, I ended up in her, let me show you this. So I cut before I watched the day 2 video, and so I didn't realize that this cut is 8 1/4, and so I had cut my paper to 8.5 by 11, so I ended up with a 1/4 strip left on all my paper. So I decided not to trash it. I just ended up using it, so they all have a little strip, just to, again, I'm trying to be more frugal and not end up with all these scraps, because now I'm out looking for card sketches that use scraps, because I have a lot of scraps and I want to use them. I don't want to trash them if I don't have to. So those are my 12 cards. I'm pleased with how they came out. It took me a couple of days in phases to make them because, life is lifing. But I want to thank you for watching my sheet load. I am going to make a few more with some masculine paper. I may just post those on Instagram because I have about 4 male birthdays this month. And I just thought these were a little, with all the flowers. I know men like flowers, but still. So we'll do something different. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.